Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing today? Can you believe it? Another week has just zoomed past. I really don't know how the weeks travel in a whole new, faster dimension, but they do. Here we are. Today we're going to get our Free Your Spine floor-based self-massage practice, which, if I'm honest, is one of my favorite to teach. So the focus today is really on giving yourself into the floor, like really basically, dare I say it, surrendering your body into the weight of the ground, because by doing that, with everything, all the movements we do, you're going to really get that sense of self-massage and that DIY, do it for yourself, releasing massage quality. So without further ado, let's come on down onto the mat, okay? And we're going to start, as we have been, onto our backs, lying down. And you can actually bring your legs into butterfly position. So knees are fanning wide, soles of the feet are meeting together about the midline of the body. Just before we get going, really opening up across the pelvic bowl area and fanning the backs of the shoulders down into the mat. So by way of gently squeezing those shoulder blades into your upper spine, get a little bit of a nice opening across your chest. And we're going to collect into our breath here, taking some time. Might be the first time in your week or in your day to tune in to how you're feeling. And when you breathe in, I'd like you to think about breathing into your back, but breathing into your mat with your breath. So feeling actually the back of your body expand with your breath into the mat. Getting that sense of connectivity, that contact between your back and your ground. Noting mentally, or if you like to write it down, writing it down, how you're feeling today in this current moment. There's a lot going on in life and society, what's going on in the world right now. So it's okay if you're feeling more on that upper end of 8, 9, 10 of not feeling wonderful. It's absolutely okay. Keep swelling the breath into your back, into the mat. Couple more rounds of breath, ladies. Notice different sections of the breath are easier to breathe into, and different sections of the back are easier to spread down around. Let's finish on one more generous round of breath in. And then from here, you might have felt quite a strong stretch into the inner hip around the pelvic area. So let's just close up the legs, stand your feet onto the mat. Gently pushing the heels down and spreading the toes into the mat. We're going to begin at the top end of the spine today. I think we started lower down last week around your hips and your tailbone. So we're going to start at the neck. And we're going to bring some small, really small circles into your neck, one way. Less of this try hard, die hard effort, and more just a bit of a softer quality of circle. Keep giving the back body into your ground. Maybe 5p coin size is about the size of your circles right now. Because we have so many little attachments to the neck, little ligaments that run across the facet joints. Facet joints run off the main bodies of the vertebral spine. Yeah, there's just lots of connections. So sometimes going small with our ranges means that we actually get deeper releases. And then have a little exploration time and see, you go a bit bigger, how that feels for your neck muscles, for your shoulders. These circles really amazing to close down your focus. So I actually prefer to go a little smaller personally, but see what flies with you and your neck. And then we're going to reverse the other direction. Again, start a little smaller to begin with. Keep giving the back, surrendering your back down into the mat. Choose to go for gold with your ranges of circles. See what you prefer. Explore the range and your tempo. Okay, now from here we're going to do sways just from one ear to the other ear, rolling out the back of the skull more, running the weight all the way to just above the back of your ear, as it were. Feels pretty yum, I think. Again, getting this kind of sense of massage. You can pressurize the back of the head where you're rolling along a bit more so to feel a bit stronger massage along that area. Gently push the back of the head down a bit firmer, as it were, into the ground. Now, last one each direction. And then centering on up, we're going to go into arm reaches. So arms reaching directly on top of your shoulders, palms facing in. You're going to, as you reach the fingers up, think about pushing a bit more the space in between your shoulder blades next to that middle spine down into the mat. Out of shoulder blades will peel up. And then as you drop the full shoulder blade area into the mat, that squeezing in of the shoulder blades towards the upper spine happens. Reach, push gently the mid back down into the spine. So you're opening up those rhomboid muscles, those lower and mid trapezius. Reach and then squeeze the shoulders down. And I invite you to play with the tempo. This one could be that it feels nicer for the shoulder blades, for the muscles nestled in between your shoulder blades. Go a little bit quicker like I am right now. Reach and squeeze. Reach and squeeze. If the neck gently wants to go yes and get involved too, let it. So we're really getting in those itty bitty corridors, dustier places and spaces in between that middle spine. Oh, and something just went release on me. Everything we do with Free Your Spine is super duper beneficial for your joints, for bringing laxity into your ligaments, slack ligaments, through the joints, like you're oiling out all your little joints in this place, all your spinal joints. Just a couple more. Oh, lovely. Okay, from here we're going to link the fingers in amongst one another. And we're going to go to hula hoops. So we do hula hoops, I do them with you standing, but now we're getting this sense of groundedness. Excuse me. Often when you start to shift energy, move energy, in like Qigong and more Eastern practices, they believe when you sneeze, it's because you've shifted something. So that's quite interesting because I felt that little release on me and then I sneezed. You're going to keep these circles quite small. If it doesn't work to link the fingers like this, you can take a hold of one wrist and go like that. Massaging out along the backs of the shoulders. And then let's change the other direction. No more sneezes. Okay, and then let's come back through center. We're going to take, it doesn't matter which one hand over the other. But let's say this is at 12 when the hands are at center. You're going to take the arms towards 11 or 1 on the clock. And you're going to do, so one shoulder blade will be more picked off from the start position. You're going to do that same reach, lift and place. And now you're going to just bring a little of that neck sway that we've begun with into that picking up the shoulder blade and back. Play with the tempo again. Picking up and placing that shoulder down, rolling along the back of the head. Easy styles. Just a couple more. And let's then carry the arms over to the other side, bring the other hand on top, pick up and place. Your head is beginning to roll in the direction that the arms are reaching in. Shoulders shoulder blade is coming off. One shoulder blade more off, the other shoulder blade more weighty into the ground. More weighty. Couple more. It's nice. And last one. Good. From here, bringing the hands to the shoulders, elbows reaching wide. I'm going to just do the brushes of your one elbow reaches down as the other elbow reaches up. Preferable, I think, to be wearing a long sleeve top because skin on ground might not feel so comfy. So now we're really sending nice blood circulation up into that upper arm area. Giving the back into the ground so you feel decent pressure there. Clearing your floor, hopefully your floor not too dirty. Super relaxing. Don't know about you, how you're finding this. Okay, let's go now into the shoulder rows, but we're going to not super duper slow, but just bring a bit more mindfulness into going slow. Squeeze your elbows into your center. They may or may not touch. It doesn't matter if they don't touch. Just get them squeezing somewhere into your midline. Notice more space around your shoulder blades and the mid-spine. Then, like literally brushing the side of the cheek with this part of the hand, reaching the elbows up. Notice what happens through your rib cage, and then elbows wide. Notice what happens across your chest, and then squeeze your elbows in, wide shoulders. Lift those elbows up, squeezing shoulders. Elbows wide, wide chest, and we go again. So we really want to keep the hands close to your ears as you rise them up here to the ceiling, rising the elbows to the ceiling. There's lots of clunking in your shoulder joint. Basically, the joint may well be dehydrated. Dehydration comes from lack of movement for your joint. So if we don't water our plants, the soil's going to get dry. If we don't move through our joints are going to get a bit clunky, a bit dry. So things like this can help. Couple more in this directione. Oh, it's lovely to get that sense of touch, right? You upon yourself, touch upon touch, hands to cheekbones, because you like face massage, like a facial. Last one. Really good. And then you're going to reverse. So you're going to go elbows wide, wide chest, elbows up, lifting, and then elbows into the midline, wide, spacious shoulder blades there. Wide elbows, wide chest. Lift the elbows up. This is like therapy for our shoulders right now. Draw the elbows down. Intuitive breath. Couple more. Keeping those elbows squeezing into your midline as they carry themselves down to the hips and then they widen. Final one. Getting that facial in. And then you're going to reach the arms wide. Now we're just going to do little mini hip rolls, very small. So you're going to lean the weight into one hip and notice the other bum cheek lifts off. And then center up, and then lean. Let's go this slower, steadier pace. Lean, the other bum cheek lifts off. So by way of mellowing the pace out and pushing some weight through the top of the hip onto that mat, you get a good old massage happening, right? Around the top of your B-U-T-T, your bum. Now, when the knees go one way, let the opposite shoulder pick up a little bit more off the ground. You may well feel a deeper stretch into your pec muscle there. And then place the back of the shoulder down, lean the body weight over to the other hip, pick the bum cheek up. And so a bit of slide happens with this hand. Let the shoulder come up. Again, opening across the pec, chest area, and come down. And come up with the shoulder as you lean to the opposite hip. And calm down. Keep it steady. I know things are always tempting to go a little quicker, but really getting this lovely twist through the spine. May even want to just hang out there in the mini twist and then placing that hip down. Leaning and picking that shoulder up. Back of the shoulder up. I mean, these are just so gorgeous that we could do these for the whole mini hip rolls. Pressurizing, do push gently the bum cheek down into the ground as the other one lifts off. It's a different type of feeling. This is really the ultimate self-care that you can give yourself here right now, today. What we're doing, really showing TLC into our muscles, our tissues, our bones, our bodies, our minds. Free spine, free mind, not to be taken lightly. We have a happy back. We're going to feel happier in our mind space. Our back is sore, whether it's around your neck, around your mid-back, your lower back. You don't feel good, right? Okay. I feel like people are waking up more and more to the importance of looking after themselves, because really it's a real old adage to think, you know, once we get to a certain age and things start to fall apart on us, then we look after ourselves. Because I was one of those people that got so many injuries before I really took stock and woke up to use my body in newer and different and more supportive ways for it. But why get to a place where you're injured before you start taking care of yourself? So I think it kind of is like flipping the script for a lot of people. We want to use everything we do as preventative. So actually we lead longer lives, we lead healthier lives, more sustainable lives. Okay, just a couple more to each side, because they're just so good, aren't they? Finishing up there, coming back through center. We're going to go to pelvic rocks. We're going to do it from a bit more of a butterfly position. So send your knees to 10 and 2 on the clock. Arms can stay as they are wide, and then we're going to send the weight more towards the sacral area, the sacrum, which is just above the tailbone area as you arch your spine. And then melt the hips, the back of the hips down into the mat. Letting the lower spine cushion on into the ground. And then releasing that lower curve of your spine, your lower spine. Knees staying reasonably wide. And then melting the backs of the hips into the mat. And also, let's link up a bit of feeling around your shoulder blades. So as your hips surge forwards to your legs and the back arches, notice what the shoulder blades do. They sort of squeeze in, they nestle into your mid-back a bit more. And then as you melt the backs of the hips down, the shoulder blades, the mid-back opens up into your ground. So we've got this hip to shoulder, interesting sort of dance going on. Let's do a few more here. Shoulder blades squeeze at the back arches. Shoulder blades and mid-back, lower back expand as you round back. Now from here we're going to go to hip rolls from this position, but we're going to bring the arm with us. So we're going to roll off, let's say, to the screen. We're going to bring that back arm behind and sandwich on top of the bottom one. We're going to roll out along the top of the eyebrow, the bottom eye, and then we're going to open up arm. Roll back, hip, pelvis. So we're going to just keep going the same direction towards the screen, towards one another. We're going to roll the knees towards one another first. Then we're going to pick up that back arm. We're going to close that book up between top to bottom arm. We're going to roll along that bottom eyebrow. Then we're going to open the arm first. Open the arm first, lay it down, and then steer your ship back to home base from your pelvis and your spine. And again, hip roll first, arm next. Open up arm first. Roll back to mats. Oh, just glorious. Let's go for one more. Hip roll. Roll. Really give that underside of your head into the ground there. Let go. Open the arm up and roll onto your back. Now, before we go to the second side, we're going to roll on over to face one another, and then we're going to stay here onto our side. And we're going to go to windmill arms. So you can bring this underneath arm like so it's long, and we're just going to reach the arm, top arm up. We're going to fall off our center with the chest, just there. And then come back, nose on top of navel a bit more as you bring the arm forwards, field. And then roll off your center, let the chest fall back. Arm opens. Arm comes down. And then nose stacks a bit more on top of your navel. Two more here. Fall back off yourself. Rolling the gaze to where your hand is going, and then following the gaze to that top hand as you come forwards. One more. Good. Now from here, we're just going to literally roll out, lazy style again, onto our back. So we're going to go the other direction. I'm a little bit chilly, so I'm just going to do my top up, because this is what happens when you super calm the body down. Everything gets a little cooler in the body. So we're going to go into the hip rolls to the other side. So the knees are going to go away from you now. The back arm is going to come on top of the bottom one. And then we open, oh, I'm saying hello to my plants here. You're going to open the top arm up and roll out onto your back. And again, so we move from that lower spine first, through the pelvis. Then we pick the top arm up. Rolling the weight along the underside of your head, because that's really enjoyable too. And then open the arm and then flowing through back to mat. And 2 more, rolling out. Back arm sandwiches on top of that bottom arm. And then opening the arm first, leave the knees where they are. Opening the arm and then rolling back to mat. 1 more, roll out the hips. Reach that back arm on top. And then opening the arm first. And then rolling back to mat. Now into windmill arms. I might just shimmy a bit this way, because otherwise I'm going to be tickling my plants a bit more. So we roll onto the side. We send this top arm overhead. We roll out the chest to come behind. Bringing the hand with us. And stack up nose on top of your navel. And then reach. Let that chest area fall back, following the focus to your hand, top hand. You're also letting the top hip hang back and off the bottom one here. Roll back. And just 1 more to go. Really giving that arm into the ground and then rolling back on top of your center. Okay, find your way back to mat. You're going to go to hip circles with the feet down. So we're going to just go through that archy position as the hips reach towards your thighs, and then roll off to one back of hip, roll through to center, roll off to the other hip, and then keep going. So you're moving through your curves, you're massaging around your hips a bit more than your lower back. And the knees are following suit. The knees are windscreen wiping with the circling of your pelvis. Want to really manipulate your way through the curves of the spine and really pressurize the different spaces around the bum cheek and lower back when you meet contact into the ground there. Let's make this one our last one in this direction, and then we're going to reverse, go the other way, arching your way through to center, leaning off to one bum cheek, push that bum cheek down, coming back through center, push gently the back into the ground, and then lean the weight into that other bum cheek. and then arching your way through. This is by way of the leaning and the gentle push that you feel that sense of floor massage, right? Around the top of the hip, into the side of the bum as you lean off to one direction, into the lower back. Just wonderful, isn't it? Couple more. Such a treat for our bodies. Last time round. Good. Now from here, number 4 stretch. Like so. Hip rolls with number 4 stretch. You're going to hug the elbows in like this towards your ribs. Roll out. Top hand on top of bottom hand. Come back. Roll out. So this is definitely when you want some long sleeve top. So it's not super free go on the floor with your skin. Come back. Wide knee of this top leg. Roll out. Roll in longer forehead. Come back. Let's go for one more. Roll out. Come back. Okay, from here, just shuffle myself down. Pick up this bottom leg. Hip rolls while you go for your number 4 stretch, circling around the hips. You can push gently the top knee down with this top hand. Oh, I lost my flow. Circling around one way, again massaging around the top of the hips, lower back. Okay, and then circling the other way. Really nourishing, especially if you like to run or do a lot of power walks around the hips, around the bum. That area gets super used and tight almost, so this is great for it. Good, finish up there. Let's change over to the other side. So number four hip rolls. Hug the elbows in towards the waist and then roll off. Really keep that contact along the top of the head as you roll, and then steer your way back. I'm sure if anyone saw what we were doing, they would love to join in, don't you think? And just a couple more. Roll out. You're getting that head massage as well as you roll along it. Last one. You can do as many of these obviously as you like. Coming back through center into number 4 hip rolls. Rolling along the backs of the hips. One way. And then the other way. And then, like number 4, into some back circles here, both legs hugging in, circle around one. And then circle around the other way. step back down into one foot, reach up through the other leg. Let's bring some length into these strings of hamstrings. But we're going to do it with a little roll of the pelvis back into the mat. And you can go free form where you're not supporting the leg, or you can support from behind the thigh. But move through that rock and roll of your pelvis. So the hips drop into the mat as you bring the leg up, and then the hips reach forwards into your thighs as the leg drops down. A couple more. And then finish up there. And change. So let the pelvis rock out a bit, forwards and from the mat, as the leg reaches up. I think it's a bit nicer actually to not support the leg, but see how you get on. Lovely jubbly. Couple more. Good, and finish up there. Now stretch both legs forwards. Slide the fingers in amongst one another, reach both arms overhead, let the back arch. Breathe in. And then release everything into the mat. Back, arms, legs can fan out. And we'll do that one more time. Draw the legs into the midline, arch the spine, reach the arms overhead, breathe in. And then draw the front body into the back body, give the back into the mat, let the legs rotate out in the hips, toes to 10 and 2 on the clock, arms long. Just staying here for a moment, taking a couple of breaths, rounds of breath in and out. Just notice how you're feeling now compared to where you were at the start of the session, practice. If useful, give that a number, how you're feeling. 1 being terrible, 10 being wonderful. Make your way into a fetal position on the side. And I just want you to stay in this fetal position, really hugging into yourself here for a moment. Letting the back just be. Very nurturing place to be. And then using your hands to push you on up to a seated position. Raise the arms up, lift the eyes up, breathe in. And then bring one hand over the other, exhale out. And we'll do that one more time. Breathe in, raise the arms up. Exhale, bring the other hand on top. Just take a moment to sit in seated position. Give yourself this last opportunity to tune in to how you're feeling in this current moment. We shall leave it there, ladies. I hope everything's feeling a bit more mellow and a bit more like cotton wool. Your body's made of cotton wool. I'd love to know how you're doing, how you're feeling. The week is up and done of Free Spine, Free Mind. We will be back next week on Monday, kicking off our week with our more restorative, upbeat restorative practice. So, I shall see you then. Bye for now.